Hello and welcome back. Today's a bit of an impromptu video. Wasn't actually planning on making this one, but I thought I'd put it out there anyway. As some of you will see in this or this video, whichever side it comes up, I can never remember. I have had a Monimoto tracker in my bike for 2 and a bit, nearly 3 years, I think it is. So I had it in my Tracer originally, and now I have it in my Super Adventure. I love them. I think they're really great little trackers. They're wireless, they don't drain your battery on your bike. They do 90% of what the big trackers do for a fraction of the price and for a fraction of the subscription cost. As most of you will know, I commute into London, and bike theft in London's ridiculous. I've got a massive 18mm chain or 16mm chain or whatever it is. I've got multiple disc locks. I park in an underground car park. I've got a cover and I've got a tracker, just to try and deter people from stealing my bike and stealing someone else's. Unfortunately, that's the way it is in England. I know there are places in the world where you can leave your bike with the keys in the ignition and no one will nick it. Proper first world problems, I know, but you know. So Monimoto have just brought out a new MM7 tracker. So I thought my old one's 3 and a bit years old. It's been banging around in my bike. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you a bit of a comparison. As I mentioned, this is the new MM7 tracker from Monimoto. This is obviously my original MM1 or MM2 tracker. I can't remember what it is, but it's one of the first generations they did. So I'm going to do a bit of a run through of what differs from this to this, what they've upgraded, and what I do and don't like, if there is anything I don't like. I am still going to keep this MM1 or MM2 tracker. I'm going to put this in my car because my car doesn't have a tracker, because it still works, it still does everything it needs to do. Obviously my bike is my pride and joy, as it is for most of you, so that is where the new tracker is going to be, because this is better. First of all, let's get into an unboxing. So this is the original, so that's basically what it looks like. I would be a bit like against showing you this sort of stuff because I'm showing you what a Monimoto tracker looks like, but at the same time you can see it on their website. And then this is the key fob that comes with it. Just a moot point, this is my KTM's key, this is my car key. This is a generic VW Seat key. Look at the size difference. Yeah, anyway. So this is the original MM1 Monimoto key fob. Obviously very simple, but that stays on my key all the time. Those two talk to each other. Let's get this new one open, shall we? Push there. So opening it up, you've obviously got this thing to download the app, if you're new. This is the Monimoto tracker. Get this out. First impressions, that is tiny in comparison. So there's a size difference, and I mean, the best thing about this so far is it's really thin. One of the things I've had an issue with mounting this is that it's quite an odd, it's a cylindrical shape, but it's quite an odd shape to fit into your bike. So if you're trying to squeeze it through, if you're trying to squeeze it through gaps like past your frame to get it behind something so you can zip tie it in, it's quite a difficult sort of shape, whereas this is a much nicer shape. In the box you also get the new key fob. So I quite like this old design. It's got like a quite nice white strip around the middle. That's rubber, so it's actually quite a nice texture, and you've got your little light down the bottom here, which is to basically warn you if the battery's going flat or if it's okay. This new one is just a very, I mean, it's a hard plastic design. There's no white edge, there's no rubber in it. So it's not as nice, but it feels very solid. What else do we get in the box? Some zip ties. So these zip ties are a really handy way of mounting this. You can see on here there's like cutouts for the zip ties to sit in. So one thing I did like on the old Monimoto device is that you actually got like a channel to put a zip tie through on either end, which is really useful. On the new one, it's just like a cutout groove. So you obviously zip tie it like that to something, and then you zip tie around it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It was just quite nice to have that option. So something that's also worth mentioning just before I get onto the setup, I've already set it up, so you're kind of just going to have to deal with it. So on the old device, it uses these CR123 batteries, which are they're quite chunky batteries. It's not a problem to get, like you can just order them on Amazon or something, but they're not easily accessible, whereas this new device just uses a pair of AA's, which is far easier. So when you get that notification saying your Monimoto battery is getting low, you don't have to order something and wait for it to turn up. It's easy to just nip down the shop and get some. So as you'll see here, I've got my 2 device is set up. This is really easy to do. You literally press the plus button at the bottom here and it runs you through everything. So you open your Monimoto, hit next, and it tells you how to open different devices as well. You hit next, it asks you what type of key fob you've got. So you've got the new style or the old style, hit that, remove the battery strip, choose type of profile, etc, etc. It will literally just search for the Monimotos, and obviously it's not going to find it because they're already paired, but it will show up underneath. You press plus, it pairs. It's literally that simple. It is so good. Like I mentioned before, if I go into this one, which is the new one, now if I go into settings, I hit connect, that should connect to the Monimoto, and I go into settings, and that's when I can dictate whether I want it to be a car or a motorcycle, my regular status, update intervals as I mentioned before, my motion sensitivity, and if I want the location on the regular update, and the number it's going to call if it goes off. You can obviously go into your key fobs as well, and with that, signal range is there as well, so you can actually dial up and down the signal range. So if you're putting your keys within range of the bike, like it is in the garage or just outside your house, and you don't want it to be armed, reduce that signal range down so then it arms itself quicker. Great new feature. It's obviously got your battery status on there as well. This one's obviously going to be my car, so just to give you an idea of that, I'll connect to that. I can change that down to Sam's car. Change that to car, change that to default, and then we hit save. Successfully saved. All done, all ready to go, happy days. So now coming on to what's actually different in them. As I mentioned before, the size, that's going to be a huge benefit to actually mounting it and finding somewhere to hide it in your bike or in your car or whatever you're using. The other big difference, this and up to the MM5 is only a 2G tracker. Nowadays most things are 4G, 5G, but this is a 2G tracker, so its signal strength and speed, I guess, is limited. That also only works in Europe and the UK if you get the right one. Whereas you come onto the new one, this is an LTE network. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'll put it down the bottom. That essentially means this is a 4G tracker. So the signal strength is a lot better, the signal speed and everything is a lot better as well. I think it's called an eSIM card, which essentially means it works internationally. That was really hard to say for some reason. There are a few countries that it doesn't work in, but if you go on the Monimoto website, they list everywhere it does work. But essentially speaking, it works most of the way around the world, which is a massive update. Basically, long and short of it, it's their most up-to-date tracker. It's slimmer, it's got better batteries which should last longer as well, that are easier to get hold of. It covers way more countries. It still works in the same way that if the bike moves, this senses movement as this does, and the key is present, nothing happens. You still get your regular update, but if the bike moves and the key is not present, you will get notifications, a call from Monimoto, and a regular update of the location. So still very much the same thing. With all their new trackers, they give you 2 months free subscription, and then it's £36 a year, I think it is. It's 32, £36 a year. I'll put it on screen somewhere. This tracker's quite old now. They don't do this version, but they still do this as an MM5, which is the European 2G network only. That's 159, I believe. I'll put it on screen if that's different. The newest 4G international tracker is 169, so it's a tenner more. So very simple video today. So I'm going to get these buried and fitted in my bike and my car. Luckily, although unfortunate for you guys, I haven't actually had to test whether it works in a theft situation. I kind of want to keep it that way if I'm honest with you. Thank you very much for watching. One quick note before I shoot off. This video should be going up on Sunday the 5th of December, if I get it out in time. So Motorcycle Live is currently underway when I'm filming this. I will be there on the Tuesday the 7th. I'm going to be up there with my dad, Mick, as you'll see in multiple of my tour videos, my Scotland tour and my Wales tour that's just gone out. And we're going up there for personal reasons, just to have a look at the new bikes and see all the new sort of tech that's coming out. But yeah, if you're up there on the Tuesday, feel free to give me a nudge and say hello. If I seem startled, I'm not used to people just recognising me in public, because I've only got 1,500 subscribers, so I'm not that popular. And don't laugh at how short I am. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in next week's video, which I think is going to be a 6-month review on my super adventure. So stick around if you're interested in that.